This is Greg the Rural Economist. Here of late, especially around here, we've been talking a lot about canning. Well, I've had a local reader invite me to come out and get some canned goods that are in excess of 20 years old. So we're going to be doing a few experiments, mostly with myself, just to see how good they are. Now, if you've done any research on canning, you know that the standard recommendation is that canned goods are good between 1 and 3 years. Now, I have eaten canned goods 5 and even 7 years old, especially my grandmother's pear syrup, which is absolutely delicious. But this will be the first time that I have attempted anything that's quite 20 plus years old. So we're going to go get the jars and check them out, and even if the stuff inside them's bad, I'm sure the jars are fine, so it's a win-win either way. We're going to let you come along for the ride as we check it out. All right, so here is my haul from the local reader who offered all these canned goods to me. So we're going to open some of them up and see how good they are. Now, I do want to say that when she first contacted me, she said she thought that some of them were 20 years old. It turns out that if the dates on the boxes are correct, some of them are 20 years old and some of them are actually 31 years old. So we're going to check it out and see how it works. All right, so the good thing about this is no matter what, all of these jars are in good shape. So I've at least gained some jars. It's getting a little warm. Now, as I said before, some of these jars are 31 years old. Some of them are not. Now, as I look through it, there's already some. This one was purchased. The button on top has been popped, so I know that one's not safe. Okay? But that's okay, because it can go in my compost pile. So I'm just going to set it aside. Now, there's some things in here that I know what are. There's a bunch that I don't. But the smell test is the first test if you have canned goods that you're wanting to check out. Now, my handy dandy multi-tool, but I need to find the right one. There we go. You can use the bottle opener, especially on old cans, to help lift off the bands. Now, I know some people reuse bands, but it's actually not recommended that you do. So, we're just going to pick something at random here. Alright, this is an old ball mason jar with what I think is tomatoes in it. The button's still down. Once again, if you find one that the button is up, it's got a little thing in the center, don't use it at all. Alright, so we're going to just take this. There we go. We just unsealed it. First test is a sniff test, always. Smells like tomatoes to me. Now, I wouldn't use this straight from the jar regardless. It needs to be cooked first. But if you smell it and it smells okay, odds are really good that it's going to be okay, and it was sealed. So I don't know if you can see my cat right in the middle of what I'm doing. Well, she gave it her approval. She's drinking out of it. Alright, let's see. Now this is some form of, I think it was supposed to be a jelly. It's really liquid. This was one of the better ones. Cur jar. Can't smell it on the outside. Now some of the jars, the lids were so rusted that you could actually smell the product on the outside. Don't even take a chance. She's still eating that tomato juice. Woo! Yeah, that's not good. That's turned into vinegar. So there's 3 down, but 3 jars. And this is supposed to be jelly too. Wide mouth, which I like. And it went, you heard the pop, that's pretty good. It too started to ferment, turned into vinegar. So far we're 0. Alright, but that's okay. This one I have no idea what it is. Let the motorcyclist go by. Rusted too a little bit. Whenever you get a jar that you can't open, a lot of times just tapping around on the rim will loosen it up. Maybe, yep, there it went. That's a handy little tip in case for anybody. Just tapping lightly on the rim will cause your band to loosen up enough where you can remove it. I have no idea what this is. Some type of tomato something. Smells pretty good actually. Smells like tomato soup maybe. Alright, well I'm gonna open one more. It's gonna be the apples here. Smells like apple. Doesn't smell fermented at all. It's a good thing. Now for the bravery test. Not bad, but they've turned to mush. Might be able to use them for apple pie. That's about it. Alright, so in recap, according to the Department of Looking Out for Us because we can't do it ourselves, canned goods last on average from 1 to 3 years. I personally have eaten things that were stored for much longer. If you homestead, if something does go bad in your cans, it's not a big deal. Go right straight in the compost pile. Be fed to chickens, what have you. The jars are worth their weight in gold. Not literally, but figuratively, and may become literally. So anytime you find old jars, especially if they're in good shape like all of these are, wash them, sanitize them, use them again. If you're using the metal lids, be sure and use new ones every year. They do have some that are reusable called Tattler lids. I've got a set in there, but I haven't tried them yet, so I kind of laid down on the job, I guess. But this has been an interesting little thing. Some of them were good, some of them weren't. This is Greg the Rural Economist, wishing you rural dreams and homestead wishes. Bye-bye.